Um, I think that, again, not speaking just to libraries, but I also have a sense that we, as a government institution, we're moving away from what I think we will, many years from now, consider as the 20th century model of local government service delivery. That 20th century model is one that was characterized by standalone services, each city having their own police department, library, park maintenance, that serves only that particular community and that is staffed completely by a workforce of public employees. I think both from the financial standpoint and from a technology standpoint and opportunity standpoint, I see more and more governments going to different methods of delivering service, and primarily service integration being one of them. Everything from sharing certain common systems and equipment to full consolidation. And I do see a greater role in outsourcing of identifying where there are competitive private providers that can provide service to support a particular municipal activity, and there are significant savings in those, taking advantage of that opportunity and transitioning a lot of functions that we've traditionally thought of as being done only by public employees. So I do think that's part of the change that I see occurring. And it really has to occur because the product of the 20th century model, while an outstanding service delivery model, has also resulted in tremendous duplication of resources, of management systems, of data processing systems, back office functions. It's resulted in tremendous redundancies. When you step back and look at any one particular set of communities in any area, in just about every department, you can find significant redundancies that if you find a way to get together, if you find a way to integrate those services, you can save money and hopefully be in a position to put that money into more direct services. You've been doing that for a long time. You've had your 4 major library systems, and now you're transitioning to PLP, so you're really just kind of taking what you've been doing for many, many years to the next level, and being able to have a vehicle that will allow you to do more service integration and sharing and maximizing and leveraging your resources. So that's from having been associated with working with Linda and Jane and going through the strategic planning process. PLP is your vehicle for changing the delivery model of how you do a lot of things that support the delivery of your services to the community, to maximize the resources you can put into hours, to programs, to service delivery. And I think PLP offers unlimited opportunities. You more than anyone else, as you sit through and think about where are the duplications in your individual libraries from all the cities and counties, where are the redundancies, unnecessary redundancies that exist throughout your systems. When you start to identify those, that's where PLP can become that vehicle to say, how do we take advantage of the economies of scale that we can provide through PLP to reduce your cost for many of those functions, and again, free up resources for programs. I've thought about this for a while, and I know it's not the maybe sexiest metaphor, but one of the thoughts I've had about libraries is the 7-Eleven store model, as maybe that's an appropriate model for libraries, that 7-Eleven stores are independently owned. So they have a specific owner who's responsible for the business, who maintains customer relations, but gets all this tremendous support from Southland Corporation, in that example, for all the back office functions. Now there's some limitations on how far you can go with that in a municipal and county environment where you're tied into city payroll systems and things like that. But I think if you can think of the library, and your particular library is as an important institution in your community, again, maximizing the external focus and the focus on resources, and structuring and continuing to develop PLP to pick up more of those common functions, eliminate some of those redundancies and duplications. And I think there's just a number of examples, and you could cite more than I can. But looking at the data integration, the ILS systems, moving to an open source where you can all talk to each other and communicate and gain efficiencies from that. And it's interesting that we tend to see a lot of differences between different city services, but there are a lot of similarities. A lot of the police and fire agencies are dealing with the same issue, that they can't talk together, because they have different radio systems, different platforms. So how do you get these things to work? Certainly, I think there's strong interest in the application of RFID technology. That technology changes, it evolves. Having PLP as the central vehicle for all of your libraries to be able to take advantage of the scale that you have in the purchase of RFID systems, and to take advantage of having the expertise to be able to implement that is another example. Programming opportunities. How many of you have authors' nights and readers and special library programs and things like that? So you've got some part of your staff going into doing all of the details of contacting authors and setting up meetings and making arrangements. PLP is a great vehicle to be able to coordinate, to centralize, to take on all of the tasks that it takes to get that speaker to your library at that time. I think another one of the potential tremendous values of PLP is to be your research and development arm. And I think that's consistent with one of the goals within the strategic plan, to develop PLP as a think tank that continues to look for other ways to assist you. And that's its role, to support you in the delivery of your services. Looking on a coordinated way for partnerships with other agencies, organizations, or businesses. Looking for opportunities for new revenue sources, for entrepreneurial revenue sources. So I think that's that role of being your R&D component is another significant role. Now, Linda shared with me some comments from Elizabeth Curry, who is the former director of a library cooperative in Florida, and she identified 19 criteria that are essential for effective collaboration. And that is what PLP is about, effective collaboration. Now, I'm not going to go through all 19, so. I see people nodding off, I said that. But when I looked at this list, it's clear that a lot of these criteria for effective collaboration deal with the climate that you have. And it's clear that the climate is right in this large-scale amalgamation of these 4 different library systems, that the climate is right for you to take it to the next level through PLP. You do have a history of successful collaboration within your own systems. You have a favorable economic, political, and social climate. Now, favorable may be not be the appropriate word. You certainly have a compelling economic, political, and social environment. And to the extent that you may have encountered resistance from your city managers, your county manager, your elected officials about doing some of the things collaboratively and cooperatively that you would like to do, there, at least in my many years in government, there's never been a better climate to advocate for changes in how you do business. That's obviously related to the financial climate, but so you have that climate, take advantage of that climate.